Honestly though, Endgame was about as good as
people crying when I saw Infinity War.
Fuck yeah.
Like had their heart torn asunder.
Right, well, that was the beginning of the Special Moves bonus podcast. I feel like we need to start on that quote, Liam. People need to hear that.
The poetic sort of movements.
It was like landmark Infinity War.
Yeah, to me,
People crying at the ending because they thought every hero they'd seen over the past decade had been killed off.
I don't know if there was a genre name for a film where everyone dies at the end.
Greek tragedy.
I'd try and do it in university.
Shakespearean.
Yeah, I love it. I love a tragic death at the end. So when I watched that, I was like, they're all coming back, aren't they? So that's why I didn't get. But this, I fucking hell, man.
Imagine how amazing Endgame would have been if they were all dead, though. If there was like half
this
of
is
them
what
left,
I'm on about.
it would have been well good.
Yeah, and exactly. But then literally they brought more back. Iron Man died. And everyone was like, I was like, come on, it goes more than that.
They kind of spoiled it anyway by having a Spider-Man trailer come out before Endgame came out.
Yeah.
So you knew Peter Parker was back.
Yeah.
So this is the bonus podcast number, I think that's like 8 or something.
This
right?
is 9.
Yeah, we're going strong. Going strong on these bonus pods.
So yeah, we recorded one last week. We're recording this one now because I'm away. And we wanted to talk. Also, another thing is like if we didn't do it now, we'd have to do it next week, and then it would be out like later in that week.
Yeah.
But we are right now at time of recording in the midst of San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
Which there's loads of Comic Cons everywhere in the world. This one is in California.
This is like the main one.
And this is the one. This is the one where they all bring their bloody trailers. We've just been watching trailers for about 15 minutes back to back.
Yeah.
And as you quite rightly pointed out, 14 of them had the same music.
The Inception horn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know, you've got two flavors. You've got either bomb like this constantly with like a rising tension in the melody, or you've got the complete like anti-drama of a very cheerful, which we've just watched the trailer for.
Which one?
That
was
fucking
it?
robot one.
Westworld,
right?
And it's a bit like a Fallout
with
vibe.
Don't know where.
Sometimes I'd say another one.
Nice
Another one is like
What
contemporary hip hop, or like.
I was gonna say, what about the slow, breathy cover of an 80s pop song?
You know what? That was enormous last year.
What was it? Like every other trailer had Lord's cover of Who Wants to Rule the World.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack to Inception. That's what happened.
There was an amazing program on BBC iPlayer like not long ago about composers and about movie scores, and it was like just called Score or something like that, and it was like loads of interviews with fucking everyone, John Williams, Hans Zimmer, and it was about all these people as well. So they were talking about each other, and it's really, really good. I don't know if it's still on iPlayer, but have a look if you like films and film scores and stuff. But they were all talking about Hans Zimmer like he was this fucking rock star, right? That just came along, and then the quote one of them says, I think it might be John Williams who says it, but he says Hans Zimmer plays the orchestra like a guitar, and he does this dun 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 dun, and like with Dark Knight and all that, it's totally true. You look at the Dark Knight and the Batman films, it's just this constant
like pop background, right?
Yeah, and he's just and he's like changed it.
He's trained, didn't it? And Hans Zimmer started off on synth. So he wanted to like start a band. No one else wanted to start a band, so he learned how to do everything himself. And like there's early Hans Zimmer stuff where you can keep some of the early soundtracks he used. Like if you make electronic music, you'll know what I'm on about. Native Instruments Contact, which is just all samples. So it's basically a massive posh one of those keyboards of shit presets.
Yeah.
That if every preset cost $800. That's what he was doing films with. And now he's Have you seen his room? You've seen his like synths and skulls. He's got actual human skull on his desk, and he's got a wall of modular synths like he's fucking Deadmau5. It's crazy.
I mean, you know how you guys love Drive like loads, the film, and it's sort of like the right film at the right time with like the exact right people for
everywhere.
You love the director, you love the star, and everything.
Yeah,
that's when I think about Blade Runner 2049. It's got Denis Villeneuve, it's got Ryan Gosling, and it's got Hans Zimmer. Right? If I had to pick any three people to be involved in any film.
Roger Deakins as well doing the cinematography.
Roger Deakins doing the fucking cinematography.
Exactly,
So that's right. If I had top four,
it is top.
It's
top
like
tier,
an all-star thing, right? Making like my favourite genre of film.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise that it's like one of my favourite films.
Not just a Ryan Gosling connection, but you are quite right about that. I mentioned that to Sean the other day about Blade Runner. I really think that's going to be, people are going to look like the original Blade Runner. People are going to realise how good it is
over time. People are going to be like, you know what? That's one of the greats.
It is amazing.
But it's literally like a shopping list of who'd you like to direct it. I think I didn't even love it. Who'd you like to be in it? Like Ryan Gosling. Who'd you like to?
That's very true.
It's wicked. It's such a good film. So yeah, there's been a ton of trailers, and that's what this bonus podcast is going to be about.
Announcements.
I guess it's about not the trailers.
It's basically a Comic-Con special.
Yeah.
Well, it's just,
because that's dominating the news.
They've monopolised pop culture.
Yeah.
There was everything there. There was from like
TV films,
film, comic books, games. Everything.
Everything's there, and apart from Star Wars, actually, that's the one big thing we've been talking about.
We just had Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, they have their own one, don't they?
They have their own Comic-Con.
But literally, if today they surprise dropped like the new Star Wars trailer, then that's a full house. That's pop culture.
We don't need any more trailers.
But we have got a lot of interesting things, so I guess like the one with the natural. Oh, go on.
I feel like Liam needs to talk about these Marvel films first.
You wanted to start with
the Marvel.
All right.
Yeah, because to be fair, we've just put him through the full podcast in which we mentioned Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that you've played and completed over the weekend.
Chomping at the bit, mate.
So you've got a lot of energy in a tank, like sprung up.
All right.
So
when I woke up this morning, I was the happiest person on earth.
Yeah.
Just let me grab the phone.
Yeah, even I was like, ooh, because of Blade, yeah. And I thought, well, my first initial thing was I need to ask Liam what this is, and what this is.
So there's basically they announced the slate for how long was it? 2 years?
From 2020 till 2021.
So we got a lot of films basically.
I think it's like 6 films, isn't it?
Yeah, and then all the rest are like TV shows. They're going to be on Disney Plus.
So all things that you're going to watch.
I did save the picture. Just 1 second.
So
where is it?
I mean, it's I can't imagine how excited you would be to like look at if someone going, look at all these films that you're gonna love probably.
Mm-hmm. So it was Marvel was at Hall H, which is like the big like panel. That's like the main stage of Comic-Con, really.
Yeah.
Big Kevin Feige himself, our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
He was there. He's the mastermind behind everything Marvel Studios. He's planned out this entire franchise pretty much by himself.
Yeah.
Well, with like Jon Favreau and James Gunn and other directors and stuff like that. And he took to the stage to announce Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe.
So this did happen at Phase 3 as well.
So Endgame was the end of Phase 3.
Yeah. And Kevin was on stage at Comic-Con a couple of years ago to say...
And he did the exact same thing. Every so often they get on stage and they put out a big like slide of their every film they've got coming.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because anyone who might be a bit cautious about release windows and stuff like that, because we have got a very video game based fandom, and it's totally fine to be cautious about like release windows.
Yeah,
he did this with the third phase, and everything came true.
Oh, as in like committing to, they say it's coming out in 2021.
Yeah, they commit to these dates are pretty
so
much
what Liam's about to say now is going to happen when it's going to happen.
So first up, there's a Black Widow movie in May 2020. So that's like a prequel with Scarlett Johansson coming back as Natasha Romanoff, and introducing Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova.
Yeah,
Florence Pugh's the new fave, man.
She is. She's in everything.
That was her first film, isn't it? That was.
She's been in TV.
She was in Fighting with My Family. You know that wrestling film.
The film
is
about
she
Paige,
the girl
the
in it?
She plays Paige.
She is Paige in it.
Yeah.
Right.
So like she's been taken off everywhere recently.
So
you just need to see her in action to understand that
she was
she's fucking good. Like
she was in The Little Drummer Girl, that BBC series that was
Yeah.
done by Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
Who guy did Old Boy and everything.
Yeah.
So that's coming, and so everyone thinks she's going to be the new Black Widow because obviously events of Endgame. Scarlett Johansson's probably not going to be around all that much anymore. So they reckon Florence
because
Pugh,
she died, Liam.
She did die, and this
you said that like a fellow commentator. Yes, she did, Mike.
Well,
she died.
So at this point, everyone has seen Endgame. It's now
exactly.
it's now the highest grossing film ever. It took Avatar's spot. It's now the highest grossing film.
I feel like it's a rare opportunity to reveal a big spoiler because if anyone says what you're doing spoiling it, what are you doing having not fucking watched it?
The
if
number
you
one
care about
highest grossing film.
At this point, everyone on the planet has to have seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So everyone reckons Florence Pugh's character is going to be the new Black Widow going forward, which makes a lot of sense because in the comics, that's what her character does.
Good.
Then in fall 2020, there's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show on Disney Plus.
Right.
So that's going to be about Sam Wilson, the Falcon, who is now Captain America, following the events of Endgame, and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bruhl is coming back as Baron Zemo.
Right.
And he was the villain in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
And he was a very good villain.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, and it was strange they didn't kill him off, because Marvel has a problem with killing off all their good villains.
Yeah.
So it was good to see they kept him. And then November 2020, you've got The Eternals, which is a film. And that's like a cosmic fair, think Guardians of the Galaxy type.
Yeah.
All-powerful beings, literally control the universe, basically. I think who was in that? Oh yeah, Angelina Jolie is one of the lead cast.
Oh, right.
Salma Hayek and Kumail Nanjiani is one of the lead cast in it. And then there's a little girl who's also the main cast, because the character is literally an all-powerful little girl, cosmic being thing.
Cool.
Can't remember what her name was. February 12th, 2021, there's Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay, so this is like quite highly requested by Marvel's Asian fandom.
Yes, it is.
This is like one that like they want.
They've been planning this film since the beginning of the MCU. It's only now they're getting around to it. I think I saw a bit of the presentation, and they had they were shook because the Ten Rings is the organization that kidnapped Tony Stark in Iron Man 1.
Okay.
Right.
And you remember, and then it's meant to be the Mandarin is the leader of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who in Iron Man 3 was a big joke with Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
But then subsequently they revealed in a short film with Ben Kingsley that the Mandarin is actually real, and he wants a word with Ben Kingsley's character for pretending to be him.
Okay.
And so it was kind of funny, because at this thing, what was it? Yeah, Kevin Feige, he had a bunch of slides, and he was showing like, oh, do you remember this random mercenary from Ant-Man? Look at the tattoo on his neck. And it was like the Ten Rings logo. And so they've been like deeply planning this with like such obscure, blink and you'll miss it references.
Yeah,
I mean, they basically are doing comic books, but with films, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Like something you might see in a single panel of a comic book.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige was going like, look at all this. Like, here's this guy from Iron Man 2, and he's got like one of the rings on his hand.
Some guy on Reddit's like, yes.
Oh, they're loving this.
Yeah, I knew it. Linking his post from 4 years ago saying, told you.
Yeah. And so, they announced the cast. I can't remember who's playing Shang-Chi, but he's quite a talented actor. They've got Awkwafina from Crazy Rich Asians, and Tony Leung, who you might know if you've seen any film from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
He's like the go-to Hong Kong actor.
Yeah.
He's in Infernal Affairs and all that.
Right, okay.
He's in Hard Boiled. So he's in it as well. I think that was the only people they confirmed. Then in spring 2021, they got WandaVision.
Yeah,
which is for TV.
As in Wanda Vision.
So
I thought it was like WandaVision, like Division 1.
Yeah. So it's Wanda as in Scarlet Witch and Vision, which is weird because did they bring him back in Endgame?
I think he's definitely dead.
Yeah,
I think he got
stones or something.
He definitely died in Endgame. So unless they can rebuild him, he's a cyborg.
Right.
I'm sure he's got a backup of his mind.
Somewhere
on a server.
Oh, stop your whining, Vision. You know we can rebuild you. What are you screaming about, you fucking idiot? We'll rebuild you.
I would assume that because he is a literal robot created by Tony Stark, so he's got to have a backup of his mind.
Yeah, he's just an operating system.
So what's he moaning about?
Windows 7 doesn't scream when I'm
exactly.
And so that's going to be a mini-series on Disney+.
Okay.
Then May 7th, 2021, they've got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Is that just Doctor Strange 2?
Doctor Strange 2, yeah.
Right.
And they've said Scarlet Witch is going to be in this one, which makes sense.
She is like a Doctor Strange character.
Yeah, they're both like sorcerer-type characters. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. And
they'd be the same like Lego Marvel archetype, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They'd have the same...
They'd have the same powers.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they confirmed Scott Derrickson's going to be back as the director. He did the first one, and he did Sinister as well.
No, right.
You remember that? He did the first Sinister film.
Yeah, the horror film, nothing to do with Marvel.
No, the horror film. They hired him off of the back of Sinister.
Cool.
To do Doctor Strange.
They thought this guy's going to know how to do wizards.
Well, he's a big fan of Doctor Strange as well. And I think the screenplay to Doctor Strange 1 was done by the writer of Sinister.
Very nice.
Because they're big, they like
nice.
just a partner.
Good trivia, that. Yeah,
I do quite like it where nepotism and stuff like that is obviously bad. But when if someone is like, oh, we like your script, and then the script guy goes, do you know what though? This guy's pretty good.
You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it because it's easy to recommend somebody that you know.
Yeah. So I like the idea that they work
how
together.
It works.
Yeah, they're a good pair as well because they're into the supernatural anyway.
Yeah.
With their horror films.
Yeah.
So they make a good pick for Doctor Strange, who is literally a supernatural sorcerer.
Yeah. Nah. It was alright, yeah. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is good,
good,
yeah.
yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, he's back as Stephen Strange. Then there's a Loki miniseries in spring 2021
this one is like quite
on Disney
high
Plus.
key.
Yeah.
Thing. That wasn't. Oh my god! It wasn't supposed to be a high profile. Genuinely wasn't supposed
High
to.
key.
Yeah, I honestly.
That's not even an
No,
expression.
no. You know what I mean?
Highly requested.
It's one that everyone knew.
Yeah,
like
it's high key. Yeah.
to the point where like when he went, honestly that was just pure subconscious. Sick, that isn't it? Yeah. You know, it's so well known that like when I saw Endgame and then Loki fucks off, I was like, well, that's the
He
series.
disappears with
You
the
know-
Tesseract.
Yeah, and then you just go, well, that's what Disney Plus is.
So
gonna be. You know what I
that'll
mean?
be. They might as well just call it The Adventures of Loki.
Yeah, exactly. Loki goes on a mad one, isn't it? That's-
Pretty
yeah.
much. And then after that, they've got Marvel Studios presents What If on Disney Plus, which is going to be an animated show.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, it looks a bit animated.
It's a comic line, and it's basically like just vignette type stories of like, what if Captain America was actually Peggy Carter? What if Iron Man wasn't a billionaire and stuff like that? And
It's like a fan Q&A come to
Yeah.
life kind
pretty,
of thing.
it's pretty much like
Hi, Kevin. What if
really
Iron
is.
Man wasn't a billionaire?
Thank you.
Kevin's
It-
like, all right, I'll just
it's
fucking
like
write
fan
that down.
fiction, but
Exactly.
animated. So they're doing that as like
Yeah.
an animated series, and they've got everyone back. Like, you know,
How's that going to... Is that actually going to be a series with a story arc, or is it going to be like fucking
no, it's vignette.
It's the
Love, Death and
Animatrix.
Robots?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
anthology.
Yeah.
So there's just going to be like 10 minutes of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
if Iron Man...
What if Iron Man was a walrus?
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, what if Iron Man wasn't a billionaire? It's just me chatting shit. But
Yeah.
what if
Yeah.
Peggy Carter was Captain America is an actual storyline.
So it
that
gives you a
happened.
little window into that universe.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, do you remember the multiverse episode of Community with the dice
Yeah,
roll?
yeah, yeah,
It's basically that, but a comic book.
It's like a great way to monetize your failed writing room ideas,
Yeah.
isn't it? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Captain America turns out to be Peggy Carter. No.
Well, there is-
And then someone's in the bin going, I'll keep
Yeah.
that for
one
you."
of them is what if Captain America was in Hydra?
Oh, right.
That's
okay.
one of them, and then
Okay.
so that's just like an animated show. Then they've got a Hawkeye miniseries on Disney Plus.
Yeah, okay.
And that again is going to be Hawkeye training the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop,
Yeah.
who takes over from him in the comics when
Right.
he retires. And then November 5th, 2021, they have Thor: Love and Thunder, which is
Bonfire Night.
4-4, and
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi's coming back
Yeah,
to direct
right.
it.
And Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman's going to be in it, and she's going to be Lady Thor
So I wonder if there's...
Is that
Oh,
a character?
as a character. Chris Hemsworth obviously back as Thor,
Yeah.
and Tessa Thompson's back as Valkyrie.
I wonder if like Guardians are going to be in it. And
Well-
they're just keeping that low key.
This isn't even the end.
There we go.
These
I'm back in the game.
in just speaking, they also confirmed a Fantastic Four movie, Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Captain Marvel 2, and then at the end, Kevin Feige said something, we haven't got anything for the mutants yet, and gave a sly smile to everyone.
Yeah, because obviously that's the one that
Yeah.
everyone... I mean, I just really want to see X-Men. Let's
X-Men
do it
in
again.
the
Yeah.
bar, yeah. So, so to go with that again, those last ones you just reeled off, they weren't on the slide.
No,
that
they're,
was like
they're
more
in
informal.
development, no confirmed dates
Yeah,
yet,
yeah,
whereas all
okay.
the other ones confirmed.
I can imagine
Well-
some will be quite
And
far
then-
in production, like Black Panther.
Probably.
And then surprising everyone, he brought Mahershala Ali on stage, and then this logo flashed up. What was it? It was none other than Blade.
Now that excites me. See,
Yeah.
now I can get on board. Yeah, Blade was.
You feel like that, you know, I know he's like pretty much
Finally.
your favourite actor and that, and he's been and done some fucking amazing stuff. But, you know, being in a superhero
He's gonna
thing,
add a bit of class.
it's that, but also for
What?
him, it's going to be like profile-wise. I know both of you are going to say he's huge and that, and he's done loads and he's
Well,
won an
he's
Oscar.
won
and
an
all
He's been
that
in a
stuff.
Marvel property before.
Yeah.
There we go. I was waiting for something like that. but
Go on, weather
but
through the
when-
storm.
if-
Do it, mate.
he is Blade,
Yeah.
right? He's going to be like, everyone's going to know who he is now. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be like
He'll be a household
name level right after that.
Yeah.
And
So-
then he's going to be in some fucking stuff.
So
Then he's going to
a
be
little
in some
bit of
stuff.
trivia. Apparently, it was his idea for this movie.
Well, at least someone has some
Apparent-
fucking sense.
Apparently, Marvel
Told you he was a good guy, didn't I?
Marvel were looking into a Blade.
Yeah.
They didn't know whether to do it as a.
We're looking into a Blade.
I know it sounds stupid, but apparently they didn't know whether to do it as a movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
fair
then,
enough.
but
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali really wanted to play Blade because he's a fan of the character, and he got in touch with Marvel, said, "Are we doing this or what?"
Listen, and you're not going to turn down Oscar winner, top detective Mahershala Ali, are you? So I actually watched the films and liked them a lot as a kid or whatever, teenager.
Blade 1 and 2 are great.
Right.
Blade Trinity, not so much.
Yeah, not so good. That's the first, I think I might have said this before, that's the first, 15 or whatever I ever snuck into in a cinema.
Yeah,
Blade Trinity. It was to see, Triple H was in it, Ryan Reynolds and all that.
Yeah.
It was, isn't it? It was, But, and you know what? and another Blade connection here is, the first ever, Lost was on TV and, everyone was like, TV can be more.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, you're like, oh my God.
I know where you're going with this.
So my mate just went Virgin Megastore and picked up the Blade box set and was like, you need to see this Blade TV show. And I was like, get away, man. It was some rapper, I don't even know if he's still around, called Sticky Fingers. And with a Z, of course, and an A, was Blade. And I was like, how is he going to be the boy Wesley? He's not, is he? And then you watch it, it was
Wesley should have paid his taxes.
Wesley.
Then he would have gone to prison.
What We Do in the Shadows, man, with Wesley Snipes.
That was good.
When I saw that, I was like, hooked, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and then I found out it was cancelled, and then so that's how Blades ended for me. I was like, no, but of course Mahershala, man, of course Mahershala. Spot on.
Be fucking
now, of course, it's a bit of a famous thing because it's very edgy and R-rated, but if they fold this into the MCU, it'll have to be a 12A, which, I'm sure they can do it.
Yeah.
But
the vampires will just explode, because they do in the film anyway, they just explode into, light and fire, sort of.
There'll be, and less rape connotations, there'll be,
There's probably not going to be any blood raves.
There won't be any. Do you know what? They could probably do blood rave. Maybe, innit? Maybe. But that's iconic.
They should open the film like that again.
If they, because what an entrance, But
exactly.
I've got to say that the one thing I always wonder about with this sort of thing, with MCU and X-Men, it was like, how are they going to fit mutants back in?
Yeah.
How are they going to just put vampires in? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think you can get away with it because they're
out at night.
They're an undercurrent. They're always there. They're just not in your face.
This is also in the world where there's been multiple alien invasions and literally autonomous robots trying to destroy the world.
It's just so funny.
Vampires probably aren't that far a stretch to believe.
It just makes everyone seem that clueless when every film is like, oh, they've been with you all along.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Why is Daredevil not run into a vampire yet? Because he goes out at night.
Exactly. So
they're both in New York.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So unless they do an Eastern European play with it, which is kind of where a lot of vampires always ends up in Poland or Russia or somewhere.
They did that with Blade too, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And there's a secret club, and the Blade TV show is heavily like that.
Yeah.
There's secret markings and stuff. So how they fit
There'll be a Daredevil episode where there'll be a crossover, and Daredevil will say in the crossover, That's so funny. 2 years ago, I ran into someone who was had pointy teeth and stuff. Well, I just didn't think anything of it. And it never made it in the TV show.
You're not going to get any. There's not a lot. They are literally not allowed to do anything with Daredevil for another 2 years.
He's banned. He's on
because
of Netflix.
It's one of the terms of the Netflix contract.
Yeah. Right. Netflix holding that over.
They've got to wait 2 years after cancellation before they're allowed to do anything.
Daredevil's another one I like. In terms of as a kid, especially Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil's cool.
The show, I didn't watch the last series of the show. I just sort of
season 3 might have been the best,
I feel like that's the most conflicted I feel about any TV show. I think because I have watched series 1 and 2 all the way through, and there are I really have enjoyed bits of it, and there are other bits where I just don't care about the characters or about what's going on, and the character development stuff doesn't land on me very well. But then it's got some really nice fight sequences and some cool ideas in there. The Punisher is great in it. And
the good thing about season 3 is there's not a lot of faff in it.
Yeah.
I'm
not
season.
a faff man.
A big thing with the Marvel shows is they're all 13 episodes each, and then 5 episodes are just pure chaff.
Yeah, right. I see.
Where at least season 3 of Daredevil felt very focused throughout the entire thing. It felt like there was always something propelling the plot forward.
I think Disney Plus are going to make it so good that people are going to look back and laugh at the Netflix Disney stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Marvel stuff, should I say. So, who knows?
Well, possibly. I'm quite hopeful about the Disney thing. I think it will be good. And I think you're probably right. The quality of the content will be...
Yeah, they don't want to... they can't
Disney
afford...
can actually just throw money at it.
But Netflix do that, but Netflix... It feels like
I think Netflix are betting on the wrong people though.
They are, and it also feels like they're ploughing money into things that just maybe aren't worth it, and maybe aren't,
Yeah, I feel like they've got a problem with their curators, like, you know.
There's a on the sort of commissioner and production level. There's obviously like possibly, this is ridiculous to say, but I'm sure there are people on like the TV side and who've been doing it for years and years and years who are like, man, if we had that money, like we'd do things totally differently. Do you know what I mean? Like, because some of the Netflix money goes to unbelievable like factual stuff and really nice documentaries and stuff, and they fund some cool things. But
for every Our Planet, there's like 5
Jailbirds.
Iron Fists.
There's and there's
shouts at Jailbirds though.
But it's this thing of being driven by the algorithm. Like the stories feel like like how traditional TV is written in cliffhangers, and you're like, stay tuned, come back next week, come back after the ad break. And in Walking Dead, you've got these like mini climaxes like all the way through the episode. Netflix is the same thing but different, where they're written to just keep you sort of lukewarm and temperate, and you feel like, okay, I'll just put this on and binge watch it all the way through, and then that's it. I've seen that series, and there's this like continual cycle thing with them. And it's about churn, which is anyway. Fucking why are we talking about that?
I think that's all the Marvel stuff.
So, what is there any standout there for you? Like, is there one of them particular?
Yeah.
Like, for me, obviously, I was like, oh, Blade. But I mean,
is it Blade, mate? Yeah, is it?
Yeah. Mahershala Ali's
strong
thing,
response.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, probably the one I'm looking forward to most is either the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a continuation of Civil War,
Yeah.
which is one of my favourite Marvel films.
Like themes and stuff. And
And
just like general
right.
tone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier is my favourite Marvel film
Right.
out of them all.
Okay.
And Civil War's a close second. Either that
what mine is.
or 4-4.
Blade, isn't it? Yeah. No,
And that might just be because of how good Ragnarok was, and Taika Waititi can do no wrong in my eyes.
I was in tears in Thor Ragnarok, only thanks to I thought I was going in for Jeff Goldblum, but I came out for Taika Waititi as Korg.
Korg is hilarious.
Korg
is hilarious.
I couldn't keep myself together.
Yeah.
That might be one of the happiest cinema screenings I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I think everyone in there is having a good time.
How he talks, man.
Yeah.
It's
that's just Taika
to me,
Waititi,
it's just like.
Did you see?
I feel like it's so cheap, because it's his voice, it's his
how
delivery.
You always say that. You always, when there's something really makes you laugh, you're like, oh, I hate that it makes me laugh. And you're always like, I'm above it, really. But I actually
it's
like
because I think about it, like what he's saying isn't funny. It's how he's saying it that's funny, and to me, that's just like
ask any comedian.
Yeah, no,
it's about delivery, isn't it?
It's master. Yeah, he's very funny.
But have you seen him? He was on like some talk show, right? And he explains what the idea was. And he says in Wellington, there's a lot of like
New Zealand.
Yeah, in New Zealand, there's a lot of like bouncers and doormen and stuff who are massive, and they're like big, strong dudes. But they've got this really nice. They're so friendly and so pleasant, right? And he says that's just the thing in like Wellington where he's from. And he's like, wouldn't that be a funny like character? And he's fucking totally right. He's a big, powerful rock dude.
Korg is,
but he's the friendliest guy you've ever met.
Really good. I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was one of the better ones. That and Black Panther came out quite close to each other.
They did, yeah.
And they're both like two of the best ones, I think.
I think they were leading into Infinity War.
Yeah, that's it. They were that year. Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably say still the first Avengers one, because I remember. I probably said this before, but I just remember like fucking Iron Man flying around, and then Hulk's chucking cars around, Thor is doing some shit. It's like and you're just like, this is happening. This is amazing, and it's like.
Then they do the circle shot of everyone.
And they're in New York, and it's just like, if I imagine what a comic book is. On screen, it's that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
for me, it is Endgame, the on your left bit. When everyone comes back, when it's standing
how are they
alone.
there? Don't worry, don't ask questions.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Doctor Strange.
Exactly. That's how they. That's a two-word answer to any questions.
He
Doctor
opens
Strange.
portals for everyone.
That's definitely the.
But the logistics of getting everyone organised, like, listen, lads, there's going to be a portal in front of you at 3:00. Okay, and you just walk forward.
But but that's not an appointment you're going to miss, is it?
I mean,
saving humanity. You're going to make sure you're ready. You're not going to be late to that, are you?
That's the strap. This one appointment you're not going to miss.
If someone says it's life or death for the planet field at 3 o'clock, you're not going to be like, oh, I'll see what I can
Who's
do.
doing the phone calls? Who's speaking?
There's people standing there ready at 1:45.
Doctor Strange can literally travel through time, remember?
So he
can go through astral planes.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people there, though.
Yeah, but they're not going to be late, are they? And also, if you're like, say you're a Wakandan.
What's wrong here, though, is that they've missed that part of the.
They didn't show that part. Like a Wakandan going, phoning up his mate, are you going to that? Did you hear that thing about 3 o'clock? Are you going to it or not? And he's like, well, of course I'm going.
This is how it's playing out in my head, though. I mean, so, like, Doctor Strange has just sat on the phone, and he's got into astral plane mode.
There's the bit,
and he's gone.
Like, Hulk does the reverse snap, doesn't he?
So talk me through that. What's that?
Right, when they get all the Infinity Stones back.
And Hulk snaps it again.
Hulk's
he
the only
does it
one
again.
powerful to do it.
Yeah, okay.
And he does a reverse snap. He
Fucks
reverses,
himself up,
reverses everything that Thanos did.
Yeah.
Thanos turns up, and at first, it's just Cap, Iron Man, and Thor who go out to fight Thanos while Hawkeye's trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet.
Chops his head off.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, that's like at the start of the film.
He's on about the big battle now. He's on about the start of the big battle.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So it's the beginning, before they all rock up.
Wreck,
And so there's a bit of time, and then obviously Cap, Iron Man, and Thor get their arse handed to him by Thanos and his army.
Right.
And there's that. So there's a bit of time for Doctor Strange to gather everyone.
Like 5-6 minutes.
That's
for
all
him to
he
make
needs.
1,000 phone calls.
Yeah.
To get everyone
to
get ready to walk through these portals.
Well,
I haven't got a problem with it. It's fine. It's an amazing moment.
No, you'd only make, like, let's say Wakanda. They make a call to the head of Wakanda, and then he's got like all those. Like, it's a big city, so he, like, there's got to be like a state of emergency, and it'd be like, right, everyone up. We've got to,
it's like an army barracks.
Get into that big field,
yeah.
Well, because they all got put back where they got snapped out of existence. So all of like the Wakandan army would have been on that battlefield from Infinity
War. So they would
War.
have been in formation. It
doesn't take that long to get the formation, does it, if you're all Wakandan?
I don't know, I've never been in an army, mate.
Doctor Strange is just opening portals, so wherever these people are, they can just walk straight through the portal and be at Avengers HQ.
Listen, it sounds like you've read some Reddit threads about this already, and I feel unprepared for this.
This is all off the top of
all I'm saying is, it's a bit funny.
Bit much, is it?
And this also...
you know that film about...
for me saying my favourite shot is Cap alone against all Thanos' army.
That's the best
when he's got the broken shield.
That's the peak of the Marvel thing.
That's
surely,
like a 2-page, comic book spread.
Yeah, they would have given
in a way, again, like I said about a laughing thing, I shouldn't laugh because it feels cheap. I shouldn't like that because it's like, you spent billions of dollars building up to this. Well done.
We were in the same screening. Wasn't it completely silent?
It was amazing.
You could hear a pin drop.
And you know exactly what they've done. You know exactly how they've built up, how much money they've spent on it, all the marketing things. Even if you want to hate it, how can you hate it? It's just too good. So, fuck. I don't know what they're going to do this season, though. That's the thing. Because that's the big difference now, though.
Yeah.
Whatever they do now, that's what they've got to beat.
Yeah.
And what did they have to beat last time? What?
And you've got
Civil War?
Have people
fighting
got
the fucking airport?
Have people got the appetite for a build-up again? Do you know what I mean? Because
That's
that was the apocalypse.
What are they going to build up to?
Exactly.
You want to go Ultimate World Ender, Galactus.
Yeah, okay.
He literally eats galaxies.
So this is what I mean.
But this was the end of half the entire universe.
So now the only thing that they can do is the end of the whole universe.
The whole universe, isn't it? Yeah.
But this is just how comic books work.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, absolutely.
I'd like to see him do it a bit more. I don't know, maybe low stakes. Do one of the more
just like half of Boston.
Or like I don't know what they could do. They could build to Doctor Doom. And because at one point he literally conquers like a good portion of the Earth.
Yeah.
And he has it under like a police state, and he controls everything.
Yeah, there's a lot they could do, but that's the thing, and that's the only difference in conversation now is they've got something to live up to, where they didn't really last time, because every film that they were doing was building on top of the hype, and then but you knew that they were going somewhere. But now they've got there. So now they're going, it's like, how do they repeat it? And I think that they can, if anyone's going to do it.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not going to find a way to make it, whatever it is, entertaining. But it's like, Star Wars has done the same thing, where you've had Return of the Jedi so final. Darth Vader dies, the Emperor's been chucked down a pit.
Where'd you go from?
It's blown up, the rebels have won, there's a celebration music thing at the end.
Ewoks play drums,
Ewoks
people's
play
heads.
drums, it's all, everyone's happy. But then, where do you go from that? Where you just have like another little empire thing? You have like a little fascist North Korean space thing, and they're somehow overwhelmingly powerful.
Do you think, like when they was making that one, Force Awakens, that they knew the Emperor wasn't dead?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think they've been on record saying they had no plan.
Yeah.
So they made Force Awakens.
It definitely
Rian Johnson came along with Last Jedi. He's like, well, I don't like anything J.J. Abrams did.
Yeah.
So he went his own way. But then they've got J.J. Abrams back. Now J.J. Abrams is like, well, I'm going to put all the stuff I liked back in.
Well, I think the second one.
There was no overarch. Because at least
J.J. should have just done a free.
He should have, because at least Marvel has Kevin Feige being like the grand overseer of everything.
Yeah.
He's literally, I think,
the Emperor, if you will.
How would you follow like one of the most famous two trilogies without having at least a plan to how it ends?
Yeah, exactly.
I think because Disney were in such a rush after they bought Lucasfilm, they bought Star Wars, everything. They were in such a rush to get like a new Star Wars film to market while it was hot that it ended up being just sort of like a sort of semi reboot of A New Hope.
What I like about the approach so Star Wars goes forwards, Star Wars has gone backwards to the prequels, but what I like about Lord of the Rings is you've already had, there's a beginning, middle, and end to Lord of the Rings, but if they want to do any more Lord of the Rings stuff, you just go back, you go into this massive history that they've got, because the apocalypse Third Age thing has happened.
Of course, same with Game of Thrones.
You can't have another Sauron, can you? You can't have another.
Same with Game of Thrones, isn't it? The Night King and that.
It would be stupid,
he's
wouldn't
done
it?
Any, yeah.
There's another Night King. It doesn't work.
Exactly, So it's going backwards. That's the thing about building up a good lore, I guess. So, yeah, Marvel stuff was as expected. I mean, today is kind of like the first day that we've had, like the day of recording, should I say, that this news has dropped. So articles are probably still being frantically written by why this means this for this. But there was also loads of stuff at Comic-Con that was not related to Marvel.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Absolutely. We just watched a few.
So, yeah, like one of them that kind of stood out for, I don't want to say the wrong reasons, but it was the Cats trailer. So let's talk about that.
It was terrifying, is what it was.
It's on the TV. My TV's behind the camera, yeah. 7 million views it's got on
in 2 days.
Yeah, in 2 days. So it's like, it doesn't matter that people are reacting badly. I think that's like unreal. Like,
I think
virality.
3 of them probably. I rewatched it at least
3 of them
because I was trying
not 3 million.
I was trying to comprehend what I'd just seen.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times.
My mind couldn't process what was happening.
So,
but I think when it doesn't matter good or bad, if something is that huge, if something is that much of like a viral moment sort of thing, it can only be a good thing, I reckon. I reckon people will.
I'm enjoying the memes already.
Yeah, I guess that's the joy you can get out of it. It's a weird one, this. I don't know if I want to see it. I think
good for us. I mean, good for them.
I think they're going to look into this the wrong way, though. I think they're going to look into this and go, yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic.
Not even that. I think they're going to look at this and they're just going to go, this is going to be a hit. Which it probably will be, but I don't think they're keyed into the whole meme culture around it.
Yeah.
Whereas people are watching it to laugh at it. Whereas I don't.
They'll be well aware of how it's going down.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, they'll have teams of people who are just into the fucking social media and market research and stuff of it. The kind of people who would.
Yeah.
Put it in front of focus groups and stuff. This is all part of it, innit? But then I don't think they'll reframe. You can't really, because it's just, it's like a serious, like, artistic musical thing, isn't it? So you can't do like, can't think of an example off the top of my head, but you can't do like where a film has a shit reaction and then you just go, whoa, yeah, isn't it? Like Sharknado or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't like lean into it like that.
Of course, because
unless you do it like Gotti.
Yeah, exactly.
Critics put the hit out.
Yeah, I think that like Cats is for a different audience altogether.
Well, even the original musical got criticised for being a bit too weird.
Well, it's a classic, right? It's a hit, especially like at consumer level. It's like, because it's based on a poem, right? A T.S. Eliot poem,
right.
And then it was adapted by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who's a household name. And if you don't know who Andrew Lloyd Webber is, it's probably because you're about 12. Anyone above the age of 12 is going to know who he is, right? Surely you don't have to know anything about musicals. It's like knowing fucking Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? He's the Ronaldo of musicals, yeah? So listen, the thing about this
That's
is
his autobiography sorted.
Yeah, no, I'll write for you. Right, so Sean is a big musical theatre nerd, yeah, and it's one of them things like where I kind of know through proxy about a bit about it, and also like a couple of friends growing up have been well into it and stuff like that, and won Britain's Got Talent by singing our songs or whatever. So Cats is a particularly interesting one because it was like very new school at the time. This is being directed by the Les Mis guy. Les Mis fucking
Tom Hooper
banged. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Tom Hopper.
Film,
Tom Hooper.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Les
Was
Mis.
it the King's Speech you did as well?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Les Mis just absolutely banged. Like commercially, did really well.
Yeah.
Critically, I think it did pretty well as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah,
Musical fans just are starved for content, right? There's hardly any films that are musical. So the last one that came out was The Greatest Showman. Shite. Yeah. Tell anyone that likes musicals it's shite, you'll get lynched, right? It was a massive hit. I remember, like I say...
Is that because it was original, though? I know there's not a lot of original musicals.
Well, no, there's really not. I mean, the big one is Hamilton, right, at the moment, and if that gets adapted into a film, again, it's going to bang. But Greatest Showman, so I went to see it with Sean because it was a musical, and, like, you know, what a great treat. Finally, a new musical's out there. And, you know, they're not entitled. Beggars can't be choosers. So I watched Greatest Showman and was like, this is shit. Looked at the reviews, everyone was like, it's shit. Then it got re-released. Then I worked in a cinema a year later. It got re-released again. It did better than Mary Poppins. The third time it got released, it did better than Mary Poppins. How is a film the third time it's out going to do better than Mary Poppins? Anyway, Cats, it's weird because it seems like it's really sticking to the original. Like, the movement is very ballet in the film, which seems confusing because...
They're cats.
Why? And they're cats, yeah. But if you look at like the original cat stuff, it is like this: people with fur on, and like they still look like humans and shit like that. But
that's what's weird, though, isn't it? It's like they've just sort of looked at the
costumes,
the live show, and gone, "What would this be like if it was a film?" And then they've just taken that extremely literally.
CGI'd people's faces onto weird feline hybrids.
But it's even looking at the trailer, it's even like staged and shot. Like they're on a stage, a lot of it. Like
yeah,
it looks
of
like
course,
all the sets
yeah.
are like oversized and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. It looks.
And the lighting is like theatrical lighting. And
there's
stuff.
spotlights. There is full-on spotlights. So I wonder what the musical crowd are going to think of it. The casting seems good. I'm not sure. Well, they got like people like Jason Derulo, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson, all of these people.
Ian McKellen's in it.
Ian McKellen, is he a singer though? But because I know all the people I've mentioned then, they're all singers, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're all known for singing. Jennifer Hudson's singing. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I think it's great, Mike, but I have, haven't I?
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson's in there. I don't know. The new lead has never been in anything like the main.
I think she's a ballerina.
Right.
And this is like her acting debut.
So they're going at it from a dead stage performance.
Yeah.
So they're going for quite a high art approach, but it's attracted like a bunch of memes. It's pretty scary. Like I find it. Not scary isn't a word, but I find it like unsettling. I don't think I'd feel.
It's like Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, I can't empathise with these fucking freaks, man. Because what are they? I can't do it. I wonder what the furries think of it. I haven't had a check yet.
I don't wonder what the furries think of it.
Are they into it or not? Do you know?
No, I've not looked into it, so I can't say.
Mate, I'm pretty sure it'd be a fucking yes. Okay, they're well into it.
No, but that's what I'm wondering if
they're
human.
put off it, then you know something's gone wrong.
Yeah. Oh no, I really thought. Oh shit, we don't know. Well, yeah, so Cats, you're going to go and see it or no?
No, mate.
Absolutely not.
Right, there was ever trailers. There was trailers.
There was trailers there, so they brought Star Trek back.
Star Trek Picard.
Yeah. Well, again, because they brought Star Trek back with Netflix, called like
Discovery
NX or something. No, yeah, sure it is.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, and then, so Star Trek...
There's 2 seasons
This
of
is
that.
so fucking bad if you're a Star Trek fan, sorry. But Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Yeah.
That was the Star Trek with this dude in it.
That was the 90s.
That was Patrick Stewart.
For a lot of people, that's the big one, right?
Right.
I've seen a lot of this by proxy because my dad was really into it when it was on air originally.
Yeah.
So this is actually, I correct me if I'm wrong if you're a Trekkie, but this is actually in like terms of pop culture and stuff now anyway, bigger than the original series in terms of like.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah, I think for a lot, this is their Star Trek.
Yeah, so I haven't actually seen Next Generation or much of it anyway. I don't remember. I definitely have watched some of it because it was on before The Simpsons.
It was on BBC Two, yeah? Yeah, so it was.
So I've seen some of it by accident like that. But
Farscape
I watched like a lot of original series, Star Trek and stuff, and one other series which I can't remember what it was called.
Deep Space Nine?
I think,
Voyager.
yeah, so I said that to you
Voyager,
earlier, guys, right? Deep Space Nine, but it might be that or Voyager. I can't even fucking
Right.
remember. But I do really like sci-fi. But this looks alright. And as a non-Star Trek Next
you
Generation
know what?
fan,
It's
Yeah.
like Patrick Stewart's coming back to retire all his characters.
yeah.
He's doing a Harrison Ford with it.
Close the door
yeah.
on his legacy.
The last time I watched him in a film, he said the words "fuck off, Logan," and
That might be my
Yeah.
favourite comic book film, Logan.
That's going to be a segue.
Captain America, close second.
I think that this trailer was funny because like you watch it from a complete noob's point of view, and
Yeah.
you're like, the music stops, and then you hear a woman say, "Picard, what are you trying?" And then the camera and you're like, "Oh, it's her." And Liam's like, "Yeah, that's 509 or whatever." And
Again,
I'm like,
I only know this by sheer proxy.
But the fact, but like you know it's somebody, and then at the end there's another moment where it's like, "Oh, it's that guy."
It has the the post-credit sting.
Trailer of like some retired man on some sort of like not quite a ranch vineyard looking thing.
Vineyard, isn't it?
It's a bit Interstellar looking, isn't it? All these big overhead
But
shots.
I thought
of
it
big
was the most
rural,
Patrick Stewart thing ever. He's a Starfleet captain. What's he do? He retires to run a vineyard.
yeah.
grapes. Yeah, exactly. I wonder how he's going to sell that wine though. Like, I've been to space and back, but the real beauty of the world is these grapes. Do you know what I mean? There's a marketing
buying
campaign.
it.
There.
I'll buy
There's
it.
a marketing
Well, the
campaign.
Star-
If
It's out of this
if
world.
Neil Armstrong was like a big like vineyard guy, and there was and in his day, and there was like
Yeah.
you know.
This is what I mean. The humour, the crudity of these grapes are like anything.
I would have fucking.
It's the closest I've been to the moon air.
The
You'd
thing
be
about
like,
the Star Trek universe is it's like a utopia where people don't need to work because they
Yeah.
have unlimited everything. Money isn't really a thing in Star Trek, so people are free to pursue like
Knowledge.
artistic pursuits, science, and like go explore the stars or take up hobbies like making wine. So
Seems pretty dope though, because I haven't watched any Star Trek. You know,
it
it's
looked
not my
very
thing,
well
I don't
shot.
think
Have you
so,
seen the
but-
J.J. Abrams ones?
The films? Nah.
They're okay.
You've not
They're
seen 'em?
decent.
No,
I
why
love
would
them. I fucking love them, which is
Yeah.
the incorrect thing to say if you like Star
It's
Trek.
got Thingy
apparently.
in it, and it's got Idris is in it for a bit. Zachary Quinto's in it.
Yeah, Zachary
Nah,
Quinto.
And it's Chris Pine's in it, mate.
Chris, yeah,
He's
you know,
good.
maybe I'll watch it.
Do you know who's
It's
in
worth
it?
a watch,
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Is he as well?
Yeah, but
Carl
he's,
Urban's
he's
in it.
bones
Friend of
in
the
it.
channel.
He's bones, so he's proper wet. He's like not.
Right.
This isn't Dread, you know. This isn't good. Carl
No,
Urban.
he's like the
No.
serious one in,
Yeah.
in Star. He's
Oh,
the one who
right.
tries to be the voice.
Nah,
of
man,
he's
I
not
just
the badass
completely,
like, he is in
like-
Dread.
Was William Shatner in Star Trek once?
Yeah, the original.
The
series.
original
He's
proper
the original
one.
serious one.
Right, okay, got you.
Yeah.
He's original
Isn't it?
Captain Kirk.
Well,
He's
yeah,
actually not. There was a Captain Kirk before him.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Captain
for
Kirk.
like 1 or 2 episodes.
Watch
and,
that.
he was,
and he was brought in as a replacement.
I don't remember. I can't remember what happened, but I have read about it.
Is it like
but
Back to the Future where they started shooting half the film and then halfway through filming they didn't like the guy
No,
playing Marty
the-
McFly, so they recast him
there
with
was
Michael J. Fox?
no, it's basically dead simple. There was like a pilot sort of thing that was quite. There was a bit longer than a normal episode, if I remember.
Okay.
And or at least it felt like it was fucking shit. But then they came back and changed loads of it. And then Kirk was
brought him in.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the original one was like a proper, like, imagine like a 1950s like space captain kind of guy. He was like proper
Fast
like
talking.
American. Yeah,
a Futurama character, would
Yeah.
one say.
well, yeah, but Futurama's.
On
Doing it on
purpose.
purpose.
Could
Yeah,
he
no,
have-
exactly, yeah, but that's what I mean.
Could he
yeah,
have been
a
a
bit of a Zapp
hard-boiled
Brannigan.
detective in another life?
Yeah,
Talking fast.
Absolutely, he could have been a ship's captain in a film about World War II. He could have been all sorts of
Okay.
stuff, right? But he was a proper like clean cut 1950s guy. Whereas William Shatner was a little bit more like
Rough and
something
rugged
about
Sean
him.
Connery
yeah.
kind of character.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so
He has a very interesting face, William Shatner, doesn't he?
yeah.
He's
You'd buy a
literally the
William
face
Shatner-
of Michael Myers.
This is where I was going with it, you know. I was going to say literally a face you'd wear as a mask, for example. So yeah,
Is that going to
you know
segue
how
that's,
into...
that's exactly what I was going to do.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, I ruined it.
No, it's very good.
Go on, continue.
No, no,
Continue. I want to hear what you continue. What you're going to segue into?
I was just going to say, like, they reckon that the Halloween mask is an old William Shatner mask.
No, it is, isn't it? It
turned
definitely is.
inside out,
They're
right?
just covered in paper mache.
That's it.
It definitely is.
So that was just a segue into, unless you want to carry on talking about Star Trek,
Segue into?
Halloween. Because Halloween 2 and 3 got announced.
Yeah.
Halloween
Have you seen the
trailer.
the most recent?
Me and
Yeah.
Liam went to see it
We saw it
together.
in cinema, yeah.
Me and
Ah,
Liam went to
right,
see it
cool.
together. It was 2018 October, was it?
I think
Right.
so.
Yeah, it was. And yes, what a soundtrack.
Oh,
I have
To
done.
the new one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Have you seen the new one?
No, I haven't.
John Carpenter came back and did the soundtrack.
Just the
It's good.
soundtrack.
Just the
Yeah,
soundtrack.
it's good.
And it is spot
On his
on.
It's
fucking
good.
Casio keyboard, he was like,
No.
Honestly, the soundtrack is so good. to it.
Honestly, I still
I'm
put
sure
it
you
on.
would have
I
had
still
some
put it on recently when cooking. Yeah, there's this one track. It's the bit when
Is it the one called Raw Iron Fence?
No,
that's a good
Chopping
one.
up
it's
some
the
red
Shadow
meat.
Returns.
Yes, that is a
It's
good one.
the Shadow
I know the one
Returns.
you mean.
Listen, that's it worthy of YouTube. Yeah, the Shadow Returns.
I
want to
watch it though.
Fucking
good,
slammer. It's a good. I mean, they do a bit of the J.J. Abrams in the new Star Wars thing where.
Remember this bit?
There's a lot of callbacks.
It's a remix. Oh, yeah. Remember that bit where she throws him out of a window, looks away, looks back, and he's not there? Imagine that. But if he threw her out the window, looked away, and looked back, and she wasn't there, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of callbacks.
So it ends in what I felt was a very
definitive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it ends in a way where like you'd think if it didn't end that way, it'd be a bit of bollocks.
Yeah,
and then
again,
but there's two more now.
Halloween Kills and Halloween
sake.
Ends, but that gives me faith because it's called Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
Halloween Kills is a good name.
And
for
it's going to be October 2020 and October 2021.
Yes,
isn't it? And so it's the same people. Danny McBride's writing it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
It is a weird one. And then David Gordon Green's directing them, and Jason Blum is producing them.
So if John
again.
Carpenter can stay alive for another 2 years and do soundtracks that are going to be just as good as that one, yes, please. Because you know what? Yeah, I went in there as a big fan of the Halloween series, big fan of that style of horror, thinking, how are you going to fuck this up? And they fucking didn't. Flawless victory all around.
It was good.
So, speaking of horror of an age, it was of an age in the 90s. They've brought it back, and it very much was a horror film of this day and age. It's a date night horror. It's a James Wan tribute. It's a jump scare because it's Radio Crackle. It's somehow managed to be a bit of a Stranger Things kind of rip-off.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Stranger Things is an imitation of Stephen King.
Yep.
But rather than this feel like Stephen King, this felt like
Stranger
a Stephen
Things.
King adaptation of a Stranger Things episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm very blessed to be sitting in a room full of probably the only 3 people in North Wales that didn't fucking like it that much. It was alright. It was alright.
It was a weird one, wasn't it? Because there was stuff in it that was like, yeah, that's all right. But and then like the little, the thing that it gets most credit for, I reckon, is the background stuff where you're not looking, where your eyes are supposed to be on the lead.
Weirdly enough, I thought the horror bits were the worst parts.
Absolutely,
of the film.
absolutely.
Everything else was good. Like the kids interacting was good. The friendship and all that was good.
I really didn't get on with what they did with the kids were okay, but they made all the adults so shit and so badly written, like one-tone cartoon characters, that the kids seemed deep, and then everyone was praising how amazing and well fleshed out the kids speak like how kids would have spoken, and it's like, well,
the parents were like Timmy's parents from Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, but
just a bit oblivious.
You want from the store.
Isn't that meant to be a bit of lore though in like the actual book? Like Pennywise casts an influence over the town
to make them all a bit like dull-eyed. You do see that in one of the trailers for this.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So in a way, like I guess, but. No, that's just kind of trying to explain.
There was no thing about that in the film, was there? There was no.
No, they just seemed like they were
I just remember hearing it from someone who read the book. The adults sort of turn a blind eye because Pennywise is sort of like, because he's a great cosmic being.
He can put he's put like a sleepy boy spell on them, right?
So they just sort of like don't really think twice about kids.
But when he does have an effect on them, it's noticeable. It's on the book, right? Yeah. So it's like they're not themselves, but they are themselves sometimes, which means you can differentiate. Whereas on this, they just seem like shit. So that annoyed me. And then the fact that it was like loads of like really unnecessary jump scares. Like there's a jump scare at the very beginning with a radio just turns on.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. It's like not even like what is that even in the script? Like what are you doing? But I do think that which Skarsgård? Bill, yeah. Bill Skarsgård is really quite good as Pennywise, because loads of people think Tim Curry's Pennywise is like iconic and amazing, and he is really cool, but they do something really good with Bill Skarsgård. Yeah. He's like manic. He is manic. He's like what I think people think the Joker is, but then when they go back and watch the Joker again, he lulls like he's like a drunken master how he speaks. But this is manic. He's on, off, up, down. Like it's really crazy, and it's very, very well done. Yeah. And I don't know. Like I don't know if Carrie fucking Argo is returning to do the script stuff for this, but
no, it's the same director.
Okay.
So I think I can't remember his name. Is it like Andreas Muschietti or something?
Yeah.
He did Mama
guy,
and so he's back to do this one again.
Well, it's good that they're keeping a lot of the same people. The casting,
the
looks
core
good.
team's the same.
Yeah, right. And who they've got playing the adult version to the kids. It's like I don't want to say an all-star cast, but it's certainly in my house it's an all-star cast. We were like, Bill Hader, Ziggy Sobotka from The Wire.
But it's that kind of film setup, innit? It's a bit like Ensemble. So if you had because they're a group of kids, they all sort of need to. If you're going to cast one famous one, like they all have to be like that, because otherwise you'd have like a bunch of sort of unknowns and one who stands out as the that's like Jessica Chastain or whatever.
Yeah.
So you need them all to like
be at the same level.
Yeah,
it's a good cast, I think.
It's a good cast. This trailer was different, and the last trailer was very cool, pretty art house. They had like one long scene.
Yeah,
with a lot
most
of
the trailer
stuff.
was the same scene.
Yeah, and they did that, like you were saying, that trick of having stuff in the background without the music saying, "Look at this."
Yeah.
Look at the scene. It was just like
the best part of the first trailer, where it's just the old woman staring in silence.
Yeah, or just a head popping around.
If you held that shot for a bit longer.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Whereas this is a lot of like, well, there's no speaking in this trailer. The whole trailer is like, well, there's Pennywise at the beginning, but then it's just music and it's people talking.
Yeah.
But the music's drowning them out. So I don't know if that's on purpose.
Yeah.
It kind of hints at a lot of stuff that if you've read the book or you know of the book, it'll be pretty crazy, pretty cosmic. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely go and see it, but I'm not really expecting much of it. But that was a big one. So that's horror out the way, Halloween and it.
Should we do maybe one more before we wrap up? Was there anything else that we watched?
Do you know? Well,
The Witcher.
We did watch The Witcher, and we can go on. I just want to mention quickly Top Gun. I'm actually excited.
Oh,
for
go
that.
on. Yeah.
I'm excited for it because it's a Top Gun sequel, like 30 years after the original came out.
Yeah.
Almost 40, even.
Yeah.
Not 40. How many? I don't know anymore.
Tom Cruise is
1984, I think it was.
So nearly 40 years.
Yeah. Again,
35.
I like the original Top Gun. As you know, if you watch the gaming podcast, I'm a big fan of Ace Combat. This is just Ace Combat, the movie, isn't
More
it?
high fives, isn't
It's lots of jets doing fancy-looking manoeuvres with a lot of like military radio chatter and some intense music. I'm going to watch this in the biggest screen I can find.
It looks like it needs a big screen. Like
it does. I want to see those jets in Ultra HD.
I think like another honourable mention, just a brief one, and then a little bit of a moment before we move on to The Witcher is the Watchmen trailer, which is what I would say was my favourite superhero film was until I probably saw Endgame.
Have you seen like the 4-hour version?
I've seen a proper version, yeah. And with all the animation and stuff in it.
Yeah, with the Gerard Butler bits.
Yeah, that's it. I watched all that, and yeah, I really like it. They're making a TV show of it, which looks like it's going to be a sequel. And yeah, it ends in a very cool way with Dr. Manhattan. I think that looks very good. And interesting one because Mike did a bit of extra work for HBO's Watchmen, which was filmed in North Wales.
It was filmed just up the road.
It was filmed just up the road, and we've known about it for quite a while. We won't say anything about it. And Mike's probably somewhere signed an NDA saying he can't talk about it. But Mike did a bit of extra work for HBO's Watchmen.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about The Witcher.
Laura, my partner, did loads more actually. She was in it with what's his face? Jeremy Irons.
Big
Jeremy Irons.
For ages, for like, I'm sure
she was there for almost a week.
She was there for longer than a week, yeah. So I'm sure that it's I'm not allowed to say that, but who fucking gives a shit? Innit?
Yeah,
it's
to the 70 that watched it.
Don't tell anyone.
It's only to the Patreons.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, she was in it. She was with Jeremy Irons for ages, and Jeremy Irons stood on her several times.
Isn't he the guy that plays Scar?
Sorry?
He's the guy that plays Scar, so she literally got fucking Long Live the King. You know, where he like does the port along and he scratches me flash off? That happened to Laura in real life. That is so fucking
Laura said he was very nice to the extras, but he was a bit moody with everyone else.
I remember her saying,
he's a bit of like, from what I read from that, he's a bit like of an actor's actor.
Yeah.
So if you're there to perform,
I imagine he loves the theatre.
Yeah, but he's got no time for assistant director 4. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, The Witcher. This is the big one. I guess we saved the big one to last because in the Venn diagram, from people who watch both of our podcasts, this is the one everyone.
Thank you for waiting a full hour before we started talking about it.
We didn't plan on speaking about it last. I think we just all genuinely forgot.
I mean, the first 30 minutes were just me going on about Marvel.
People like it. So The Witcher is based on the books. I mentioned to you guys right there. I saw, like, I don't know. It's not like their responsibility to, and but CD Projekt or the Witcher account, the famous game Witcher Twitter account, there's been no love for the trailer, no mention of it. I don't know if they're even allowed to talk about it because it's based on the books hardcore to the extent that, like, you'd think that maybe like Doug Cockle or like you'd see a bit of like banter between them.
Yeah,
just have him as like a random innkeeper.
It's CD Projekt, aren't they the kings of the world, guys? Aren't they the best company, the best human beings literally ever on planet Earth?
Yeah,
I think do you reckon it's because the author is so famously against the games?
That's literally what I was going to say.
And this is based on the books, not the games. And so...
Yeah.
I was going to ask, how involved is Andre?
I think he's quite involved in the show.
Which will probably be why the games are, because there's a bit of beef,
might be a stipulation in his contract where he's like, don't mention them.
It could even just be the CD Projekt going, nah, fuck him. We're not going to talk about this thing.
They might be fully on there. They might want everyone to be about the cyberpunk hype.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I just think they should give it a little gif or something, innit? Follow up that picture of Roach and Geralt with a picture of a glitched out Roach, man. Just make the fucking effort. Anyway, so we got a full trailer. It was about 2 minutes odd long, I think. Thoughts?
I'm quite optimistic for it, you know? I thought it looked decent.
Yeah, me too.
I did not.
I know you didn't. Go on.
What was it you compared
Don't
it to?
do that voice.
Why didn't you?
You compared it to BBC's Merlin.
Yeah, because it was like a little bit... Right, high fantasy can easily look bad and sound bad and be bad. But we've been... I think, there are a lot of things about Game of Thrones that everyone's been criticising and stuff. And in the last sort of series... me very much among them, but it did do some things like really well that you probably take for granted after like 7 years of it.
Definitely, yeah.
But and I'm talking presentation and writing and stuff. In the last season, the Game of Thrones, the writing wasn't top tier, I guess. But there's some of the sentences that were said in that Witcher trailer. I was like, I'm not sure about that. But also some of the little creative visual decisions and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be good. So I'm hoping it will be because I like The Witcher, and to be honest, I like Henry as well. Big Henry Cav. I think he's alright. He hasn't annoyed me anyway.
He's good.
He hasn't annoyed you. Yeah, you're very much neutral.
I think he should get his due.
Yeah,
I think I thought he was a good Superman from considering what he had to work with.
I would say the movie did him a injustice.
Man of Steel.
Yeah. He was better than the quality of that script.
Like if you were going to cast anyone alive at that moment to play Superman, to be fair, he would be top of the list because he's
right.
It's the same. I think Ben Affleck was a good Batman, but again, the script failed him.
Yeah. So anyway, Cavill is like I think he'll be decent. Like he's a good a pick as anyone, really.
Yeah, well, he wasn't even going to be the pick, right? That's the thing. He approached
campaigned
them.
for it. Yeah.
They said no. Looked at 216 interviewees, and he was like, reconsider me.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right.
He's famously a big nerd.
Yeah, and he was very close to not being cast.
Apparently, he missed the call for getting his Superman audition. Well, he auditioned for Superman, and then apparently he missed the call first because he was too busy playing WoW. Yeah,
it sounds about right.
How does he? He's a good a pick as any, but I just think there are certain elements of that trailer that I just wasn't sold on. It looks like it's got a good budget, like some nice drones, some nice CGI drone stuff.
Netflix throwing money at it.
Which exactly. So I guess that's probably taken as standard as taken as read sort of thing at this point. If there's a Witcher TV series, you can assume it's going to have fuckloads of money behind it for Netflix.
If they're not aiming for best video game adaptation ever, then why bother?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've got the opportunity there. I say that it's based on a book, not a video game, but that's what everyone's working with. It's all everyone knows it from, and I think
exactly it's not going to exist for a fucking game.
From just, by the way, none of us have read the books, but just from people who have read the books, the general mutterings online seem to be that of excitement because they can see because the trailer makes sense to them because they know this is that bit, that's Blaviken, that's da. And it looks like what the plot that they're running with seems to be a good one. Mm-hmm. So
I think what it is that it looks a bit like televisual, which is like a weird way.
I think the outfits look weird. All of the outfits on it. Watch it again. Look at Triss Merigold's outfit. Look at they're all a bit Maid Marian hanging off them, kind of. I know what you're saying. And
it's lit in a very like television-y kind of way. They're not trying to be like too artistic with how they're making it look and stuff.
Right.
But that's again, it might be great. It might be a banger. But my feeling, having watched the trailer, is that it's sort of I don't know.
To me, it can't be any lower than a 6 because I like the idea of it enough that even if it was complete shit, if I still get to see an Igni melt someone's armor I'm going to at least be okay.
I thought that about the Cyberpunk one, though.
Carbon.
I should fucking love
Carbon,
Altered Carbon.
yeah.
And
well, the issue was they didn't make that about much cyberpunky stuff for a while, did they? It was mostly about dicks. Me and Liam spoke about this on the way in. Actually, it's actually about it's a grandly well packaged film about male packages. It's about dicks and maybe a bit of.
You sound an awful lot like the creators of South Park, because that's what they say about everything, Game of Thrones and.
Oh really?
To be fair, Altered Carbon was 90% penis.
Yeah,
but this
and if that is not a way to.
Witcher 3 is a game that opens with Geralt's legs spread open. So the odds of this being another penis.
Exactly.
And they were quoted saying it's a very adult show, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's code.
The Witch is going to be full of dicks.
Strap on.
Yeah, strap on. Yeah.
Yeah, listen. I guess that was the bonus podcast, episode 7, 8, something like that.
9.
7, 8, 9. Thank you, everyone who supports us on Patreon. Sorry there was... well, I don't know. The podcast is either going to be late or no podcast, depending on what happens this weekend. We're a bit weird at the moment. Jake's away. And so we're recording this bonus podcast sort of out of step. So this is an earlier recording of the bonus podcast. Mm-hmm. So who knows what it's going to be like. But there's definitely going to be some stuff on the channel either way. There's going to be a couple of videos coming and stuff. And we'll be back next week for sure with another podcast. Remember, if you are a patron, which you are because you're watching the bonus podcast, check out our Patreon page where we have announced the winner of the t-shirt competition, the Gamer Born t-shirt competition. So if you entered that on Patreon... It could be you if you entered in it. So go on Patreon to see if you won. Thanks for watching. See you next time.